got to tell the secret of that fabulously tasty chili.
With 3SE, Third Shift Entertainment was created in 2000. This is just off the heels of recording the track "Can You Kill What I Kill," which is released on White Cross's 6th side. One day I was watching King of the Hill, and at the end of the credits, King of the Hill was produced by Third Art Entertainment, and since I was thinking we was doing all the dark stuff at the time, Third Shift Entertainment would be appropriate for a label name. So that's how that all came about, with the name and everything, and then we picked up from there, started recording more for the 6th side album, and then onto my album Code Dead, and everything meshed together, and that's what it is today. The first show was actually in Anderson, Indiana, behind the Mounds Mall, at a pizza parlor. I can't remember. I think the name was Dreams. It was pretty big, you know, probably get 50 people in there. I think 40 people showed up. I don't remember the ticket price. It was probably $5 or something like that. We had the whole entire roster on there at the time, and I ran the sound mostly because at the time I was experiencing, you know, anxiety attacks and what have you. So I didn't really have a very good social skill at the time. So I performed one song, and it was with Ice Pick Willie, Black Flame, and that kind of opened me up to more shows, and that's what happened. The Summer of Sickness 2002 was a big show, very big show. This one was advertised on the internet, and a lot of people from around the Midwest came. It had Incision and 6th side. This is the first time me, Incision, and Mr. Kilcha did Main Street Graveyard live, and there is very rare footage of that recorded that hasn't been seen, and that was a very good time. We packed a house to close to 100. It was filmed, and it's on the DVD of Beyond the Crosses, sold in the Third Shift Entertainment store. So yeah, that opened up a lot of you know, gateways for me, thinking, hey, I can do shows. And it was hot. There was no air conditioning in there, so a lot of people in there, and if I could beat that, I could beat anything. So I took hold of it and got over my stage fright and just rocked with it. You know, once you're on stage, something just takes, you know, a hold of you, and that's, the rest is history on that. I met Incision for the first time. He came to me wanting to record a song that's on his album, The Verdict, Until the End of Time. I told him $40, you know, that's a reasonable price back then for coming in the studio recording for a local artist and somebody I never heard before. And I liked what I heard, and plus he was meshing singing, which I never heard a male singer before in my area, and for me to work with or record at the time. So I was like, I got paid, yeah, I took his $40, but I'm like, come back, you know, next one's on the house, you know. And then more and more, Mr. Kilcha was asking me, hey, let's get this kid on Third Shift Entertainment. You know, he has the energy, and he was hungry. You could tell it, you know. He wanted to belong to something that he knew that was real, and something that was, you know, normal around Anderson, because nobody got their shit together but us. And we just made it happen. So in 2003 or 2002, I put Incision on the album Code Dead and Main Street Graveyard. And, you know, that's how I like to experiment with a lot of people, like put them out there on a track on one of my big releases and just get their name known from there. And that way, you know, everybody starts to get familiar with the name. And then everybody started, you know, recognizing the talent. And so more and more, he jumped on Magic Deuce's Irish Killer too, you know. So that's how we got Incision introduced to the underground. I don't know where he came up with the name, but as I take it, it's a lyrical incision. You know, he cut you deeply, is what I took from it. I never really asked him, but his first name was Cryptic, and I already knew Comatose and Ruckus as Cryptic as a group, and I told him, you're gonna have to change your name because they're already an established horrorcore act. So a week later or so, he came back with the name Incision, and that's what it stuck with. The Verdict album, which came out in '04, was a long, you know, process of getting that together. But you know, I don't take nothing back. Recording, every time I got to spend with Incision in the studio, it was something special, and you could feel it. But you know, the first couple of recordings, he would wear all his chains and his bracelets and everything, so he'd get hype into the lyrics, and you could hear all that chains and shit rattling. So I like, you know, he gotta take all that stuff off, player, because that's getting up in the microphone. So he caught on quick, and before he recorded, he'd take 5 minutes taking all that shit off and rocking the track. So yeah, The Verdict was a very special time. Don't take nothing back from it, and I wish, you know, I knew what I knew now on mixing. You know, it was mixed well, but you know, as technology advances, I take more time in mixing. I got top-notch sound card and what have you. You know, I might still have the original recordings to The Verdict, and someday I'd like to dip back in there and remaster it for them. You know, I really didn't get to work with them much. You know, me and Incision's knowing was just almost strictly business. It was always, I was the older brother to him, but didn't go out and party with him and hang out with him at his friends. I was just bOb, you know. He would just come out and hang out at the studio and learn a lot, and he did. He loved playing keyboard from his dad. He was a musician and played keyboard, and he would make bass lines and stuff. There's a lot of tracks that he's on. Some of the bass lines are originated from Incision and recorded it. And if you hear Something to Feed on Ice Pick Willie solo, he played the piano on that. You know, so he's picking up very well. Started to mold into his own style. A great personality to work with. You know, he didn't argue with me about how things should be done, and he just listened to me and trusted my knowledge on how to record a track and how it should be mixed and how it should be presented. So much respect to that. You know, you just couldn't ask for a better artist to come in your studio and do that type of work. You know, you couldn't ask for much more than that. You know, it's just a shock to us all the night we got the call. You know, Travis is in the hospital. You know, he's hooked up to machines, and I just didn't believe it. You know, it's just something you don't think would ever happen to somebody close and somebody you work with, and that's on your label for that matter. It's just something you just don't think of daily, and at first I didn't want to believe it. You know, like, well, if it is, he's gonna be all right. He'll be all right. He'll pull through. We'll be back. Because that week before all that happened, he came by and said he wanted to get back in the studio and get back on to a new album, which he had already recorded 2 songs. And he just came by wanting to, you know, get back in the groove of things. And we sat down for a good 20 minutes, and that's the last I heard from him as he walked away.